From day one, you know, I was on the front covers of newspapers, you know, after I was born. And just growing up, although not directly in the limelight, but there and around, and, you know, growing up through school was a complete nightmare. They had nothing but trouble and abuse all the way through school, and through my teenage, you know, years as well. And, you know, I just wanted to get on with life, but there were so many walls and barriers in the way that I couldn't just be me, you know, because I was very shy and insecure, and people would take advantage of that. And you know, I didn't have, as I said before, I didn't have enough strength to say, you know, go and pick on someone else, otherwise I'm going to start fighting back.
Well, you can marvel at precision, you can dial a telephone, call up color vision from the safety of your home. No cause, I don't discriminate.
Tonight, a new season of In Concert, celebrating our 1-year anniversary with Julian Lennon.
Cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working in the bed of iron. They cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working.
Saved again.
And hot new artist Tori Amos.
Got something to say, you know, but nothing comes. Yes, I know what you think of me. Never shut up. Yeah, I can hear that.
Plus special guest, Rush.
On the desert highway straight to the heart of the sun.
Here's tonight's very special host, Carlos Santana.
Hi, I'm Carlos Santana. Tonight I am your host on another great edition of In Concert. We'll take you to an interesting coffee house in Soho where Julian Lennon takes the stage. And we'll go to the bottom line in New York to hear from a unique new performer, Tori Amos. Plus, we got a profile on Rush. Julian Lennon recently gave an acoustic performance of his new album, Help Yourself. He takes an expedition into his soul, past, present, and future. Here's a piece of that musical experience. Get a Life.
No money, no pride, stick your finger in your eye. It's all a joke, it's just a ride. Save it for another guy. Kick yourself in the head, pretty soon you will be dead. Get yourself another job, don't become another snob. Oh, 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 oh. Why don't you get a life? Nothing is a guarantee, don't hide your face, don't beg and plead. Being sorry for yourself, put another record on. You're the answer, you're the cause, you're just another perfect flaw. I'm just as scared as you know, but trying all the same. Oh, 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 oh. Why don't you get a life? Oh, 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 oh. Cheap talk will get you far, slandering in whiskey bars. Face the facts, the truth inside. If you want peace, so try and hide. You don't have to worry, 'cause everything's alright. You don't have to worry, we've made it through the fight. You don't have to hurry, 'cause harmony's in sight. You don't have to worry, just trying to feel alright. In the end we're all afflicted, in the end we're all addicted, in the end we're junkies too, unless you have a point of view. Swallow pride, it swallows you. Take that side, I'll guide you through. Who's gonna help us in the end? Not your brother, not your friend. Oh, 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 oh. Why don't you get a life? Oh, 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 oh. Fear is just a crying shame. Work it out or go insane. Think about the world at stake, 'cause if you don't, we'll all be dead. You don't have to worry, 'cause everything's alright. You don't have to worry, we've made it through the fight. You don't have to hurry, 'cause harmony's in sight. don't have to worry, just trying to shake the plight. Well, I've been dreaming of a change that would take place, where all of God's creatures would love the human race. Hey! Oh, 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 oh. Why don't you get a life? Oh, 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 oh. Being wealthy isn't bad, despising it is what's so sad. Make a move, you've gotta just do something useful with your voice. You don't have to worry, 'cause everything's alright. You don't have to worry, we've made it through the fight. You don't have to hurry, 'cause harmony's in sight. You don't have to worry, just trying to feel alright.
We got more of Julian Lennon coming up on In Concert.
ABC In Concert, brought to
Julian Lennon performed recently at an intimate coffee house in Soho, where he shared with us not only an incredible acoustic set of music, but also some of his thoughts and ideas. Here's the In Concert artist profile on Julian Lennon.
The whole album was written basically towards myself. All of the material was written towards me. I mean, I felt that in the past that I was perhaps a little lazy in a lot of things that I did, even in songwriting. You know, I go write lyrics and go, ah, that's okay, next. And I don't think there was enough determination and focus or passion. And it was a time for me to change things about that and bring about a new positive side to my life, not only in my personal life but in my career too. And it was just very tough. And finally, I just said, you know, I was unhappy with myself because I wasn't strong enough to face up to people. You know, I wouldn't speak my mind, and that would make me feel so miserable. And after years and years, after 27 years before I started working on myself, of feeling this way, it was a bit of a challenge, and still is a bit of a challenge. There's still things I'm uncomfortable with, but again, you know, I felt that as long as I'm honest and true with myself, I've got nothing to be afraid of anymore. I'd been through a hard time after the first album. I mean, the first album was great, and got very much rushed into the second album. Didn't know what the hell was happening, really. And couldn't really say anything because I didn't have any control or sort of power at that stage. And it did an album that I wasn't very happy with, was very miserable about, in fact. And the album didn't do well, and I wasn't happy with it. It sort of went downhill from there in many, many ways. Literally, I looked at myself in the mirror one day and said, what have I done to myself, you know? And I looked in the mirror and said, you know, this is not what I'm here for.
Take me home for the ride. You won't be alone. We won't be alone tonight. I am standing in the shadows of the garden, confessing to the pale moon above. There's a darkness in the air that seems to guide me. If you want to see the heartache, you can look into my eyes. Take me home for the ride. I won't cry alone. Take me home for the ride. You won't cry alone.
I think you have to go through a lot of painful or bad experiences to appreciate the good side of life.
Tonight.
And although we all don't want bad experiences, they happen whether we like it or not. You know, it's kind of yin and the yang, the white and the black. It's always there. It's not going to go away. So it's also a question of understanding that in life, that sometimes you're going to be down and you have no choice about it. And as long as you realize that and work with it and understand and maybe grow from that experience, then it's not such a bad thing.
In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working. In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working. Well, you can marvel at precision. You can dial a telephone, call up color vision from the safety of your home. No cause, I don't discriminate. I sell to those who buy. There never was an innocent who didn't want to die. In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working. In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working.
I play every instrument very badly, basically. I had one piano lesson when I was a kid, you know, with this blue-haired lady that whacked me on the hand with a piece of wood when I hit the wrong note, and I thought, this is not the way to learn music. So I sort of taught myself, and I play by ear. And generally, the only thing I can play is what I write, or, you know, what I teach myself. You know, I've always played a mixture of everything, you know. It's just I've never sort of credited myself for it before.
Whether air, sea or battleground, desert, sand or snow, when they sell the final weapon, we can all watch it blow. In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working. In the bed of iron, they cast the final weapon just to keep the people working. Gotta keep the people working.
Something my grandmother used to say to me whenever she used to get really pissed at anybody having a go at her for any particular reason, she'd just say, let him fish. So I thought, well, this is a point which I've reached that is different from any other. I'm happier with myself. I don't care much about anybody else's opinions anymore, so let them all fish, you know.
Next, In Concert travels to Germany for a visit with Rush on their current Roll the Bones tour.
Seems to go from moments where I think that our music is quite intimate, which I don't think you could really say about a lot of metal bands, to other times it is pretty raw and it's pretty upfront. So to a large degree we're a band that defies description, but I think hard rock is the closest label that sticks.
They travel in the time of the prophets on the desert highway straight to the heart of the sun. Like lovers and heroes, I'm the restless part of everyone.
I think in some ways we have been able to remain normal enough and mature, as I said, openly and in public, that a lot of our audience has too. So as our concerns have changed and grown, our tastes and styles of music have changed and been influenced by other people's music and so on. The same thing has happened with these people. So we remain relevant to their lives as a soundtrack of their lives, and they can listen to Roll the Bones with as much pleasure as they listened to Moving Pictures 12 years ago, you know?
Watch your every move, simple as a doctor. On her tail, fantasy for sale, that's entertainment.
There were quite a few clubs, especially in the early 70s, 71, 72. So you could work full-time in Toronto or around Toronto. I mean, from week after week after week after week, and there were maybe 10 clubs that you do a rotation, playing at each one week. And it was great. I mean, that was very important. Before that, you played high school dances, you know, once on a Friday, and then you didn't work for 2 weeks. But that was really an important part of developing and growing and learning to play better as musicians. Our first record was really available as an import in Cleveland, Ohio. A radio station played our record one night and they got terrific phone response. And we were on an independent label at the time in Canada because no one else was interested in signing us. And they got terrific phone response, and the program director at that radio station called a friend that she had at Mercury, and they listened to the record, and basically the next day we had a deal. You know, they signed us up immediately. The first tour that we did, we played a college. We had a concert, and it turned out that this concert was 50s dress-up dance. They all, you know, with the greaser haircuts and Sha-Na Na and all the old
Sha-Na Na
stuff.
were playing the headline.
That's right.
And we were opening for them, and they were all, you know, ready to bop, and we came out and we just like blistered their faces.
We'll go to the bottom line in New York City with Tori Amos when In Concert returns.
The In Concert New Artist Profile, brought to you by Wrigley's Big Red.
Tori Amos is a compelling new artist on the music scene. She really digs inside her soul and brings up some passionate and stirring music. I think you'll enjoy her.
5 a.m. Friday morning, Thursday night, far from sleep, I'm still up and driving, can't go home, obviously, so I'll just change direction, 'cause they'll soon know where I live, and I wanna live. Got a full tank and some chips. It was me and a gun and a man on my back, and I sang Holy, Holy as he buttoned down his pants.
Me and a Gun is based on a personal experience, and I wouldn't talk about it for 7 years. I saw Thelma and Louise, and it's like a door opened, and I began to open that door and free myself from being a victim in my head. You can carry that with you for the rest of your life, really. And I've smashed that by writing this song, and I sing it every night. It gets a bit exhausting sometimes.
You can laugh, it's kind of funny, things you think in times like these, like I haven't seen Barbados, so I must get out of this. Yes, I wore a slinky red thing. Does that mean I should spread for you, your friends,
It's incredibly sad to come back to my country. I've just been in Ireland, where people are fighting, desperately fighting, for women to have the right to choose if they want to have an abortion or not. I come back here, and I say, we've worked for thousands of years to have some kind of independence. And you see it slipping through your hands, because the truth is, this is not about children. And when you strip away all the layers and you get to the seed, this is not about children. If it were, these people would go to the sewers in Colombia. They'd go to the AIDS wards. There are millions of babies. They're thrown out like trash on the streets, like cabbage. Nobody cares about the children once they're on the planet. They don't care. They walk around with guns and blow each other up. They have no food. They have nothing. Nobody cares about that. This is not about children. This is about having control over a woman's sexuality. And some women don't want to claim that power because they feel ashamed, they feel guilty, they're torn of love and lust. Christianity has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with that. Nothing. And it saddens me because these people, the anti-choice people, could be doing so much for the children that are on the planet. This is not about the children. And I refuse to play that game. Because one has to analyze, one must look at what an issue is about. And that's not what it's about, and it really comes down to that. And everybody's bought it.
Excuse me, but can I be you for a while? My dog won't bite if you sit real still. I got the Antichrist in the kitchen yelling at me again. Yeah, I can hear that. Been saved again by the garbage truck. Got something to say, you know, but nothing comes. Yes, I know what you think of me. Never shut up. Yeah, I can hear that. But what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said, sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been here, silent all these years. So you found a girl who thinks really deep thoughts. What's so amazing about really deep thoughts? Boy, you best pray that I bleed real soon. How's that thought for you? My screen got lost in a paper cup. You think there's a heaven where some screens have gone? I got $25 in a cracker. Do you think it's enough to get us there? 'Cause what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care.
Hi, I'm Tori Amos, and you're watching ABC in Concert.
Tori Amos performed at the bottom line when In Concert caught up with her. She's an intriguing artist and woman with a startling and exciting new vision. This song, Crucify, gives you some insight into Tori.
Being a minister's daughter means you get really good poppy seed cake at Christmas time, and you get really wonderful dresses and things made by these really nice little old ladies. And you also get an incredible amount of confusion, because my father is not a fundamentalist Christian preacher. He's what you would think liberal. And he and I are very close. I'm close with my mother also, but my father is the minister. You would think that we are at odds. And now that I'm 28 and a half, we've come to a point where we're good friends, and we've accepted that we have different views on things. But when you're 14 years old and you don't know what your beliefs are, you're taking on everybody's beliefs around you, and you're making them yours. And my parents are big believers in speaking how you feel. I've gotten to be really, really close with them as I've gotten older, and that's a treasure to me. because they are still alive, and I can tell them that I appreciate them, even with their beliefs. They said she wants to play clubs, she wants to make records, and she says those things.
Every finger in the room is pointing at me. I want to spit in their faces, then I get afraid of what that could bring. I got a boiling ball in my stomach, I got a desert in my mouth. Figures that my courage would choose to sell out now. I've been looking for a savior in these dirty streets, looking for a savior beneath these dirty sheets. I've been raising up my hands, dropping up a nail in just what God needs. One more victim. What do we crucify ourselves every day? I crucify myself, and nothing I do is good enough for you. I crucify myself every day. I crucify myself, and my heart is sick of being. I said my heart is sick of being in chains. I got a kick for a dog, I'm begging for love. I gotta have my suffering so that I can have my cross. I know a cat named Easter, he says, will you ever learn? You're just an empty cage, girl, if you kill the bird. I've been looking for a savior in these dirty streets, looking for a savior beneath these dirty sheets. I've been raising up my hand, dropping on a nail in. I got enough guilt to start my own religion. What do we crucify ourselves every day? I crucify myself, and nothing I do is good enough for you. I crucify myself every day. I crucify myself, and my heart is sick of being. I said my heart is sick of being in chains. Sick of being
Just ahead, In Concert gives you a sneak preview on next week's show. In Concert has a great show for you next week, and here's a sneak preview.
Next week on In Concert.
Hi, this is Walt Parazator from the band Chicago and my buddy Joe Mantegna.
Come celebrate 25 years of Chicago in a special two-part ABC In Concert.
This is Carlos Santana, and I got the AT&T In Concert calendar for you.
Just a start, yeah. I got to get you into my life, baby. I got to get you next to me. It's only the beginning. Oh, only just a start. It's only just a start.
Julian Lennon says Saltwater is a goosebump song. I like it because it's about the environment. Here's Julian from a performance shot live in New York City earlier this month.
Unfortunately, you know, we're just caught up in a very bad situation all over. I mean, we knew about hunger, you know, and many other things. But there's a lot of things that we weren't told as Joe Public about what we're doing wrong, you know. And unfortunately, that sort of information has only been given to us over the past year or a couple of years, really. And I mean, for me, it's just, I mean, that's why the song was written, but not to preach at people. It was just, look, this it affects me. It makes me feel really sad. I'm going to do my own little bit when I, you know, where I can.
We are a rock revolving around a golden sun. We are a billion children rolled into one. So when I hear about a hole in the sky, saltwater wells in my eyes. We climb the highest mountains, we'll make the desert bloom. We're so ingenious we can walk on the moon. But when I hear of how the forests have died, saltwater wells in my eyes. I have lived for love, but now that's not enough. Dying, and now I'm crying, and time is not a friend, no friend. As friends we're out of time, and it's slowly passing by. Right before our eyes, we light the deepest oceans, send photographs of Mars. We're so enchanted by how clever we are. Why should one baby feel so hungry she cries? Saltwater wells in my eyes. I have lived for love, but now that's not enough. For the world I love is dying, and now I'm crying, and time is not a friend, no friend. As friends we're out of time, and it's slowly passing. before our eyes. We are a rock revolving around a golden sun. We are a billion children rolled into one. What will I think of me the day that I die? Saltwater wells in my eyes. Saltwater wells in my eyes.
Thank you. Thank God entertainers at least give a damn and try, you know, because nobody else seems to be able to doing anything for anybody, you know. And I'm very annoyed at the fact that it's not our position, really, to do this, you know. For me, it doesn't matter how many musicians go out and write songs about the problems we face. I think we all need to know and remind ourselves that we've got to do something because, again, nobody else is doing anything.
Okay. Load up on guns, bring your friend. It's fun to look and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello, 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 hello. I'm worse at what I do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. Our little group has always been and always will be until the end. Hello, 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 hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us, yes. It's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. Yes, a mulatto and albino. I must give